Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are back with another of these very cool Cretaceous Creations figures. As you can see, we've got ourselves another Jurassic World Rebirth release. This is the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and again, a super cool looking figure. I cannot stress enough how much I've been loving these figures overall. They have such a really cool, very stylized look while still kind of looking like they do on screen, which is definitely one of the most appealing aspects to these figures. And as you can see, as we turn it, he's even included the actual injuries here in the face like you do see on the T-Rex in Jurassic World Rebirth. So that's super, super cool. So we're going to remove it from the base, and then we'll get a closer look after we actually readjust the camera. So starting here in the head sculpt of the T-Rex, you can see again we've got a really nice visual of the Rex coming in with its mouth open, and you can very much so see that they've really captured the look and feel of a Jurassic Park T-Rex specifically, while still keeping it again, stylized in their own way, their own version, own style. And it looks really neat because of it. We do have some nice variation of color here, as we have a black that moves up and over the top of the head, and then kind of around following the jawline, and then also moves down here along the lower jaw as well, which looks really cool. Then we've got a nice light tannish tone for the lower jaw as you lead down. We also have some nice fine detail as you move throughout the face. We've got the nostrils as well as some osteoderms popping up here and there, a yellow tone for the eyes, some wrinkles and creases there in the eye socket area. Leading down again, because the mouth is wide open, we have all of the teeth sculpted really nicely as we lead through. We also have the skin stretching here on the inside of the mouth, and then again the tongue present right here, which is very nicely sculpted. And again, I love the fact that they've applied that nice pinkish tone, but also gave it the red wash to really add some realism to the figure. Actually, I'm not entirely sure if it's a red wash or if maybe they just dry brushed some of the pink over the red. Either way, however they did it, the application is definitely quite nice. And you can see the rest of the inside of the mouth is basically a black coloration, so it kind of gives it the look of having like a throat, because it kind of gets really dark and you can't see any further than that. As you move back here, actually also when you lead to the lower jaw, you can see again some larger scales and osteoderms and stuff down there. As you lead up into the back of the dinosaur, a few more osteoderms and stuff popping up here and there. As you lead down through the neck, you can also see some slight creases in the skin. As we lead down, we can also see again that we have like a brownish tone of color for the primary body. We see that in the face a little bit as well. As you lead down though, we also have the black that kind of stripes along the back, which is very much so the way it looks in Rebirth. We can also see some osteoderms and stuff popping up here and there, as well as again the very nicely sculpted arms leading down. You can see the elbow and everything. We can also see the scoots down the fingers and the claws. The claws are sculpted to look genuinely sharp, and they do have a nice black tone of color. That lighter tone continues to follow along the underbelly of the T-Rex, which looks really good. As we lead back up, again, you've got some more osteoderms popping up here and there. Leading back into the leg, we continue to have that very cool, kind of like an animated style, where it looks like it would be like an animated version of the Jurassic World Rebirth T-Rex, which I really, really like. It's almost like if Jurassic World Rebirth had presented itself in a cartoon format in like the 1980s or early 90s, and then you just grabbed the T-Rex and pulled it right out of the cartoon. This is kind of what I would expect it to look like in real life. But as you lead down, you can even see like muscle definition. You also have the kneecap right there in the front of the leg. You've got some scoots moving down the toes. We can see how the foot is kind of picking up off of the ground as the T-Rex is about to take a step. We've also got the nicely sculpted claws, again looking nice and genuinely sharp. We do even have dew claws, which we can see over there. And then we lead out here into the tail. You've got a few more osteoderms, and then of course more striping as you lead out through the tail. We also have the lighter tone following along the underside. Again, the tail is obviously short, but that's because of the style that they create these in. And when you look at it from over here, again, you can see that injury to the face. I love the fact that they've also painted that area out the same way they painted the inside of the mouth, again with variations of reds and pinks, so it does have a realistic look to it. We have the teeth painted with a white. As we lead back, we see pretty much the same thing on this side of the head as what we had seen on the first side. The head's pretty much straightforward right there. As you lead into the neck, you can even kind of see like tensing to the neck, a few skin wrinkles and stuff because of the open mouth. The arms are in pretty much the same position on this side as what we had seen on the initial side, but the leg is definitely taking a nice step forward over here. And again, it gives us a nice shot of the toes and the scoots down the toes, the claws, everything over here. Same style of sculpt, muscle definition, everything present over here as well. And then you lead back out again into the tail with a nice curve out there in the tail. So that is absolutely awesome, and definitely one of the more fun stylized Jurassic World T-Rex figures I've seen in quite a long time. And we also have the base, and again, just like with the others, we basically have like some cracked sort of concrete, it looks like, and then you have the two pegs that go into the underside of the feet to hold it onto the base. And then the underside does again have Cretaceous Creations as well as the Tyrannosaurus name right there. So to apply this back to the base, you just have to follow again the holes on the feet into the pegs, and there you go. And now it's back on there and looking pretty darn cool. As far as the size goes, for a length, you are looking at about just a hair over 7.5 inches or 19 centimeters. And then for a height, the highest point would probably be the snout, a hair under 3.5 inches or 9 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A Human Being next to our T-Rex. And you can see again, it's got a pretty good size to it. Also has such a cool visual, honestly, like the pose and everything they gave it is so perfect. But you can very clearly see again, it's not small, but not huge. And then when it comes to some comparisons with other Cretaceous Creations figures, we have the D-Rex next to the T-Rex, and you can see again that these two aren't too far off as far as a size, with the D-Rex being just a bit larger. Then we've also got the Mutodon, which you can very clearly see is quite a bit smaller than the T-Rex. We've also got a standard Mattel Velociraptor, which you can clearly see again. It's a little bit taller than the T-Rex, but the T-Rex definitely has more body mass. And then I have an older version here that I keep out often for comparisons and stuff. We have the Pop Funko T-Rex next to the Cretaceous Creations version, and again you can very clearly see that again the Cretaceous Creations version is definitely a bit larger and way nicer looking. So this brand new Cretaceous Creations Jurassic World Rebirth style Tyrannosaurus Rex is awesome, just like every one of their other figures have been the entire way through. I think they do such a great job of combining a fairly screen accurate appearance with their very stylized look, and they do such a great job of bringing them to life. Also, the coloration and paintwork on these are, it's always just so nice. Like, it just looks really good, and they've definitely done a great job again here on this one. The sculpt does have a really cool pose, a roaring T-Rex pose, which is definitely awesome. That's exactly what I would want to see for my Jurassic World style T-Rex. Again, the detailing throughout makes it kind of have that little bit of an animated look, but at the same time maybe a little Pop Funko-ish, but just way cooler looking. The paintwork also looks really good. It's very nicely applied, naturally applied. They've applied a good bit of different variation of color throughout the course of the body, painted the nails, the teeth, everything, giving it a nice, really fully painted look. And I love the fact that they've given it this, injuries. I was almost going to say scars, but the injuries on the side of the face, that's a really good touch. And then you've also got a base on top of everything. So if you are interested in this, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase it on eBay from their store. So make sure you check that link. I absolutely recommend picking this up, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.